Namaste, friends. This is Dr. Arun Chandan here. I come from northern part of India, and I live in Himachal Pradesh. It's a small state in Himachal Pradesh, close to Jammu Kashmir, and I work on medicinal plant sector, particularly the medicinal plants which are used in indigenous system of medicine, like Ayush systems. We popularly call them in India. So, there are six Indian systems of medicine, the Ayush systems here in India. You can say the codified Indian systems of medicine or the Ayush systems. If I speak of Ayush, A stand for Ayurveda, Y stand for Yoga and Naturopathy, U for Unani, S for Siddha, H for Homeopathy. And now there is a sixth system which is now called Swarigpa. Swarigpa is a system which is uh, popularly practiced by Tibetan system of medicine, Tibetan people. But in Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh, we call it Amchis, or we call it Bhot Chikitsa Paddhati. Yeah. So the beauty of all these Ayush systems is that 90% of the raw material which is used by these systems to manufacture medicines, that comes from the medicinal plant sources. And those medicinal plant sources, generally, more than 70% of the raw material, there has been a tradition to extract them from the wild. So we are harvesting those medicinal herbs from the wild since long. On the event of introduction of Biodiversity Act in India in 2002, and after Nyoga Protocol, and even having rules of biodiversity in place in 2014, the extraction of wild resources has been restricted under the forest laws. And it has been now envisaged that any raw material which comes out of the forest or which is extracted from the forest, the users or the buyers or the commercial entities, they have to return back the ABS, excess benefit sharing, to the communities who are extracting these resources from the wild. And Government of India has given thrust to make people's biodiversity registers, PBRs, and through that mechanism, all healers, all agricultural innovations, traditional knowledge of agriculture, forestry, and so on, that has been well documented in the people's biodiversity registers, PBRs. On the other side, these PBRs are empowering communities to come forward, to know more about their resources, to know more about their uses, go for filing GIAs, and working on some intellectual property right protection on those resources. So this is one story. On the other side, you see, it has been very well mentioned in the classical texts of Ayurveda. There is a quotation. I'm just going to speak in Sanskrit. That is, yes, deshasya yojantu tajyam tasya aushadam hitam. So it is said that if we go for documentation of local flora of an area, and if we go to find out the disease profile of that particular area, there is a relationship between the local flora and the occurrence of diseases. And it is said very clearly that 70 to 80% of the diseases which occur in a particular area are treatable or preventable with the use of local resources, which is true in many of the cases. Many times it is more than 70% true statement. I work for National Medicinal Plants Board. It has 7 regional centers across the country. I look after northern region, in which we work with 7 North Indian states like Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi. So, see, our primary work is basically to cater to all needs related to medicinal plant sector. So just allow me to make a small presentation through which I'll take you to the story of our work on medicinal plants in this region. And I would like to tell you that we have, you see, approximately 10,000 manufacturing unit, industrial units. Those are working in manufacturing of medicinal plants. We have lot of homeopathic units, we have lot of Ayurvedic units, Siddha units. They are making number of medicines. So as I said, the number is 10,000, and the consumption of raw material I will be just citing in my presentation next. On the other side, it is also true that 80% of the world's population depends on medicinal plants for their healthcare needs. It's a statement by WHO. And you see, the reason is these traditional medicine systems, they are affordable and accessible even to the poor people. They can go to the forest, they can go to their kitchen garden, they can go to their fallow lands and bring certain medicinal plants, identify them, make the medicine, and get relief. That is the reason most of majority of the population is using this. And you see, the plant-based medicine have their holistic and preventive healthcare value along with their nutritional value. As I said, formally, Ayush systems, there are medicines manufactured, and now you see certain medicinal plants have been brought under food supplement category in India. There are 436 medicinal plants. Those have been now categorized under single food supplements. They do find mention in Ayush systems. They do find mention in food supplements. And similarly, new regulation of nutraceuticals is in place in India also, in which combination of medicinal herbs with minerals and other products can be put forth as a product in for marketing and all that. As I told you that 90% of the raw material of all these medicinal plants that come from wild, first they are the medicinal plants, and then secondly, majority of these raw material comes from the wild. And if you see, the traditional medicine is basically what? It's a knowledge of plant genetic resources. They are the traditional cultural expressions. And similarly, the global demand for traditional medicine and associated products has risen significantly. And then this knowledge, protection of plant genetic resources, and traditional cultural expressions, crafts, languages, health practices, ritual, customs, songs, handicrafts, textiles, hymens, religious practices, protection practices of natural resources, this all comes into the traditional knowledge. You see, the research and innovation of traditional knowledge is basically making knowledge holders or the providers vulnerable. The healers is basically making them vulnerable, because in the recent past we have seen that lot of leads are there in place to find out the novel molecules, or even the some nutritional product development and all that. So reason being that most of the traditional medicine and associated products is increased demand across the globe even after the COVID situation. There is a threat, there is a vulnerability of misappropriation uh, with the healers or the people who are involved into collection and this thing. And similarly, there is a challenge of sustainability. There is always a fear of overexploitation. There is always a fear of sustainability, making, because as a result many of the species, they have either became endangered, rare, threatened, or they have entered into the list of red data book of IUCN. And then you see, in India, this National Intellectual Property Rights IPR policy 2016 has been put place, in which great impetus has been given on commercial value of traditional medicine knowledge. If I go through the global demand of medicinal plants, you see, we were expecting an annual growth at the rate of 7%. This is based on the figures, which is based on the research. And but now, after 2021, this demand has multiplied many folds. And if I take you to the demand side, you see the classification. Uh, See, 2,500 are all species which are used in the codified systems of medicine. Ayurveda is using 1,587, Siddha 1128, Unani 503, Shoric part 253, and then homeopathy 468, and Western medicine they are using 192 species. So after this, if you see the segmentation, where this raw material is used basically in addition to ASU, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and homeopathy formulation. Proprietary and ethical products are there in the market. And then there are herbal cosmetics, herbal teas, functional foods, nutraceutical, extract, phytochemicals, resin, gums, flavors and fragrances, aromatic oils, aromatherapy, culinary herbs and spices, and then veterinary herbal products. Veterinary is also a big area in which most of the raw material is again used from Ayurveda, or even the traditional healing practices are there under veterinary. No, I'll take you through a tour to the value chain, supply chain of medicinal plant sector. Particularly, this is with reference to India, and I'm sure similarly, the biodiversity-rich countries will have the situation similar like to us. Uh, we will be speaking of medicinal plant sector. Upper side, we will be talking of wild collection. Downside, we will be talking of cultivation. And if we speak of wild collection, I told you there are unsustainable harvesting practices in place, and Ministry of Ayush, National Medicinal Plant Board, has come up with the good field collection practices protocols in place. They are provided in the shape of trainings to the farmers or the people who are extracting these medicinal herbs or the other products from the forest. And then there is a thrust on certifications. There is a voluntary certification scheme by Government of India, under which it is encouraged that if the farmers or the collectors are following GFCPs, then there must be a process of certification so that they get the good price of their produce. Once this global demand has increased considerably, there is a demand that now the buyer is interested to buy the product with traceability. And there is a provision of issuing a certificate to this effect. If all the protocols are followed, then this traceability can also be ensured. Second interesting thing which we are involved in, we are supporting the state biodiversity boards. Every state of India has a state biodiversity board, and we have a national biodiversity authority. This is as a result of CBD, which has happened to on this. This was the conventional biological diversity recommendation, and then this biodiversity management committee, which is functional, which has been constituted at the panchayat level, at the local self governance, the lowest this thing statutory organization, that is Gram Panchayat. So there, biodiversity management committees they have been constituted, and they are empowered to deal with the situation of extraction, conservation, biodiversity management, and all that. So this is the part in which the wild collection is dealt in. And if I go on the side of cultivation, see, cultivation of medicinal plants is a big challenge actually. So there are mixed type of experiences. Some people are doing good in cultivation, they are making good money, but some people they are toiling, they are trying, but they are not able to get good crops or the good quality seeds and all that. So there are different kind of things which are moving across the country. But here, our focus area is basically we are working on assured crop price. See, there has to be a assured crop price for the farmers whosoever cultivates any medicinal plants. So we are compiling information. We are going for local field trials with the farmers. We are going for local trials with the institutions, research institutions, so that a minimum price can be worked out for the farmers, so that it can be negotiated with the pharmaceutical industry and so on. Similarly, certification and then good agricultural practices is there in place. And my office, National Medicinal Plants Board, has succeeded to bring out agrotechniques of 106 medicinal plants. They are freely available, they are open source, they are available on our website or on our application, they can be accessed. And similarly, two more challenges are there in this sector. They are quality planting materials and this varieties. You see, farmers, they don't get quality planting material, certified quality planting material. There are challenges. You see, industries, they are looking for good chemotype cultivars varieties, good genotype varieties cultivars. So there is, although a lot of things are, a lot of projects, research is going on in this country, but there are challenges that varietal diversity is brought, is even delivered to the farmers level. So there are challenges in that. So we are trying to facilitate all this process together in term of project research projects, as well as in terms of taking farmers or even bringing all these stakeholders together into one room. And then next issue comes the harvesting time, seasonality, and then quality control. You see, quality control is a big concern in this country these days because on the event of having increased demand globally, lot of processed drugs are being sold outside India now, and there is a thrust that the authentic raw material should be made available to the industries, or industries they start consuming authentic raw material. So this authenticity of the ascertaining authenticity of the raw material is a big challenge, basically cumbersome. It needs a lot of cost and all that. So our stress is basically to lessen the gap between the lab and the farmer. So bringing or innovating some new things, new ideas, we are trying to bring out quality, authenticity of the quality raw material to the stakeholders. Similarly, this thing is basically linked to the year-long livelihood assurance, basically. So this is a question again that if a small or marginal farmer start growing medicinal plants in some part of his land, in addition to his grains and all that, so there must be assurance of the livelihood throughout the year. We have succeeded to uh, get our convergence with the existing government schemes of various other departments like rural development, food processing ministry, micro and medium industries department like MSME in India we have. So this convergence is really now they have started delivering results for the farmers. Once this produce is collected from the wild or is harvested from the fields of the farmers, see again, I'll take back to you to the cultivation part. There are certain challenges again. See, there are technologies, there are machines, equipments for the large farmers. They can go for combines, they can go for harvesters, they can go for a number of other equipments which are available in the market. But there are no equipments those can support the farmers who are marginal, who are small. So there is a urgent need to go for equipments, machines, farm equipments who can actually help the farmer to reduce the labor cost of the medicinal produce, of the medicinal plant produce which they may be growing. Next stage is basically collection centers, mandi networks. You see, once this the raw material is produced or collected, then second question comes of the post harvesting. So there is a challenge, big challenge in post harvest management at farmers' part. So because we need to have technologies, technological interventions for sorting, grading, drying, storage, transportation, etc. If this is done and properly, we are successful to even go for validation or for the post harvest management of any medicinal produce. Only then we can take our product to the collection centers or mandis. There are networks, there are more than 26 mandis across the country dealing with medicinal plants. They are traditional mandis. Government is trying to intervene, just infusing innovative ideas so that this system is made uh, farmer friendly and they are able to sell their produce at a good price. On the second side, we are basically working on policy level for trade regulations. We have a process in place for value addition. There is a API system in allopathic system of medicine. Most of the medicines which are made, so they have uh, a system of procuring API, that is the processed raw material, which comes from outside or from other companies. Some companies are making API. So there is a big scope of going for APIs of Ayurveda. We can go for that also, because if this primary processing is done at the farmer's field, uh, in India now what is happening is people are getting organized into farmer producer companies, self-help groups, and other social or cooperative societies, and so on. So together into clusters, farmers can come forward to go for validation at the source of the raw material, whatever they produce with respect to medicinal herbs and all that. We have drafted a draft this procurement policy, which is shared with the state governments we are working with, and we are helping our farmer friends to come forward for product development and semi-processing protocols and all that. And then comes again two categories I told you, that food supplements and nutraceuticals. Recently, Ayurvedic ahar has been added into food supplements now under this food category. This is a big impetus which has been given by Government of India, that now the classical food which has been described in many Ayurvedic classical texts can now be manufactured and sold after producing it scientifically, even across outside the country also. So drug discovery protocol, we work on basically certain products which are certain possibilities, or drug discovery products which either come from it this generation to generation knowledge which is passing from one to second, or second there are some healers, they are working on some product, or there is some other noble lead. So our we are helping all these things uh, through incubation centers or startup ecosystem which has been established under various institutions, or even my institution also. For marketing purpose, we have a e-check protocol, this application which is in place by Government of India. So this is a platform in which farmers can even buy or sell their produce. They can even talk to the stakeholder. They can meet the stakeholder. It's a wonderful platform which can be easily downloaded from Google Play Store, and it can be used after registration. Let me tell you, we are providing mandi rates from the various mandis across the country for the raw material, commercially important raw material, on every 15 days basis. After every 15 days, we are providing this information to this. Yeah. And there is a very good startups and entrepreneurship ecosystem model in this country. Startup India movement is taking in a big way. And under this Ayurveda and medicinal plant sector, so this new system is in place. So this is being encouraged. If I speak of the key stakeholders, so we are working with cultivators, collectors, supply chain intermediaries, industry, yes, nutraceuticals, Swarikpa, cosmetics, policymakers, research institutions, ISM practitioners, and folk healers. Core area we are working with, and we do work with the international community also. This is again something like that. We still import 15 species, which is 60% of the total uh, percentage of the plants we source. 15 species we are sourcing from outside, 72% we is sourced from the wild, and 22 from the cultivation. And there are approximately 56 species in India, they are under cultivation. Again, you see, if we see the high demand species, there are 242 species which deal. The volume of the trade is more than 100 metric tons per year, and 1178 are the total traded species which are in trade basically. You see, there is a consumption. It's again 2014 and 15 data. Uh, 512 metric ton. This approximately 6 lakh metric ton is the consumption data for ASU products. And similarly, the same type of demand has been created in nutraceutical and food supplement sector. So uh, this is a scheme. Our scheme, we have a scheme in place, as I told you, voluntary certification scheme for medicinal plant produce. This is even implemented through Quality Council of India, in which GFCP, GAP protocols are even transferred to the farmers, and if they follow it out, then the certification certificate is issued after dealing with certain protocols. If I speak of the key thrust areas, conservation is first and the foremost area we are concerned with. Cultivation, research and development, quality assurance, marketing and trade, this training and information education communication, and then international cooperation. So, friends, I would like to highlight again some of the points of research and development. So, see, multiplication of rare, endangered, and threatened plant species through tissue culture also. It's one of the big area we are looking forward to work on. Computerized database of medicinal plants and monographs. A lot of projects are working on it. Bioactivity guided fractional studies, sustainable harvesting, post-harvest management, intercropping, chemical and molecular profiling, quality planting material, germplasm and genotype identification and conservation, authentication and standardization of crude drugs, and finding substitute for rare, endangered, and threatened species. These are some of the research area. Or otherwise, any pertinent information or research priority which is worked out by the stakeholders is always welcomed, and we work on that. So these are some of the information related to our e-check application. You see, we have a national helpline also. 1-800-120-5778 is that national helpline. Any stakeholder who is interested to get any information related to quality planting material, supply chain, demand, cultivation, plant protection, post-harvest management, marketing, etc., they can approach this helpline, or otherwise they can even uh, do it through online also, eCherak.in/nmpv helpline/register. Then this entire ecosystem of National Medicinal Plant Board at Ministry of Ayush is helping the stakeholders to get their problem solved through innovative measures. We bring out this monthly journal. It's a print journal we bring out. This is available in soft and vernacular language, Hindi. So this basically in which we even bring out certain case studies of successful people, failure stories, knowledge, and stakeholders profiling, and all that is done under this publication. So, if I speak of the approach in India, you see there is a very good ecosystem these days. If we go with the Government of India scheme, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has taken lead on his government, and there are a lot of schemes in various departments. Those can be converged together, and in Ministry of Ayush, Honorable Minister and Honorable Secretary, Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha ji, is working with very positive approach, with very comprehensive and innovative approaches to infuse knowledge of Ayurveda to the communities by strengthening various departments and activities of ministry. So, under the able guidance of CEO and Deputy CEO of National Medicinal Plants Board, we are spread across the country. And here I would like to highlight that there is a scope to work with Skill India, Biodiversity Act, ABS. I already told you. You see, we always have been discussing to find out the carrying capacity of nature. You see, there are tools in place through which we can find out which species is having in abundance or is may become endangered or extinct in the coming times. So, this kind of interventions basically we do propose with various stakeholders. Similarly, Startup India, I told you, is a very good ecosystem here. Herbs and food, herbs as food and food as medicine. And we have Khadi and Village Industry Commission, that KVIC, in place. We have an ecosystem of incubators, accelerators under the Ministry of MSME, under the Department of Science and Technology, under ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So there are number of schemes, Ministry of Food Processing, those can be brought together to make reality that medicinal plants really contributes to double or triple the income of the farmers in this country. So, with this description, with this presentation, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all the audience, all the scientific community who are connected under this national conference or under this session. I even welcome you all that there is a scope, there is a hope, and there is a need that all the respected scientists who are working in the various components of supply chain management of medicinal plant sector, they please should come together, join hands together, share their knowledge, exchange their knowledge to strengthen the supply chain of the medicinal plant sector and help the deserving farming community and help them to even earn the respectable income that can contribute to the sustenance of their families and help the mother earth to grow sustainably natural organic medicinal plants, herbs, vegetables, or any other millets or material which is required to be consumed by the communities at their household level. So, with this small note, I would like to once again thank you all and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to be able to come forward for this presentation. And I extend my sincere thanks to all the stakeholders and the listeners. Thank you very much. We'll meet again. Thanks a lot.